begin. The summer of 270 BC. The Senate has ordered me to take Segesta. It is a suggestion. Indeed. Right, well, I shall ignore their advice entirely.
Yes.
And instead send my veteran diplomat, Sextus Antio, into Batavium. You shall offer the Gauls a peace, a false peace.
I shall speak with them at once. Moves depleted, sir.
Thank you. And you,
At your service.
Decius Curtius, you shall go to Rome and tell us what our friends are doing.
Searching for clues.
They are mighty. We are not.
General!
So, Flavius Julius, leader of the meagre army of the north, you shall be combined with Vibius Julius,
Forward!
leader of the
Urging
other meagre army of the north.
Prepare to ambush.
Indeed. Flavius Julius is now in command of a slightly ragtag bunch of armies, which is about to become the first Julii army of the north in our battle against the rebels of Segesta. However you wish to pronounce it, they are going to be slaves. To battle.
Attack! Besieging settlements, sir.
I have no time for your siege. Send in the peasants. Yes, it begins. An ambush, if discovered and promptly surrounded, will repay the intended mischief with interest. Vegetius. Indeed.
Do not fear these rebel slaves. They are only slaves, and will die as easily as cattle. By this time tomorrow, our sword arms will ache from overuse!
Damn straight.
Await my orders!
The plan for this battle is simple.
General! General!
Put the cavalry on the left flank. Infantry to the center,
Triarii!
or as the center is often called, the meat grinder. Archers to the right. Gentlemen. Atop that hill are the enemy slaves. We want their town and their labor. Unto them. So, the might of the Julii is arrayed against these poor, hapless slaves, who have no conception of the carnage that is coming. The wall of infantry breached the first barrier, a small straw hut, and mount the hill in the first battle of Segesta, the first battle of the Julii in this great tale. Here stand the slaves, rebels willing to die for freedom. Ironic. Live free or die. I say die. First, throw the pilum. And second, pile in. Soft metal spears thrown into the center of the slave camp. They can't be returned because they bend on impact. It's a Kurdish proverb. Cast not the arrow that will be thrown back against you. The Hastati, or as I like to call them, meat, are engaged on the outside. Triarii attempting to make their way through on the inside. The initial battle shows very little tactical nous and is instead simply a meat grinder. These men will die like their fathers before them, and their sons shall be slaves of the Empire. Let's rally some cavalry here. No rush, chaps. Let the infantry do the dying. Slaves now, still showing no signs of faltering, but being gradually enveloped by my armies. The line has become long and somewhat stretched, so we're going to dash the cavalry through. We're going to bring them around here the right way, so as not to confuse them into the battle initially. In fact, given the progress of the infantry in the interim, we can probably place the cavalry in the rear. Here. Let's go, chaps.
The gods be praised! The enemy general is dead!
The enemy
His
general
men
is
know
dead.
their doom approaches!
And now all that remains is to cut his meagre followers to ribbons. At dawn today, they probably had some conception of victory. By noon, they shall all be dead. Thus is war. The Great Red Wall of the Julii will soon span all of Europe. It must begin here, against slaves. Soon the cavalry will be in position. Hold two. Very nearly there. Let's get the cavalry on double time. Once in. There we go, formed up. Charge from the rear. That'll be the fait accompli. Send me news of my victory. The cavalry and the infantry will meet in the centre. Brave slaves. They're still not broken. They'll fight to the last, it seems. But the last really will be the last. Pressed up against the wood.
The enemy army is in flight! Pursue them and drive them from the battlefield!
No, I think we'll cut them to pieces.
This is a heroic victory, worthy of Roman arms!
Nothing remains of Captain Narrated, whilst Flavius Julius takes glory from the field. Dulce decorum est pro patria Marie. It is a sweet and seemly thing to die for one's country, and a greater thing to die for one's king.
Victory! This land is Roman!
And so we are faced with the first foreign policy dilemma of our administration. Occupy them, allow them to live peacefully under Roman rule. Enslave them, send them back to the markets, or exterminate them all. As it is, we need slaves. And so ends the first year of the Julii conquest of Europe. Segesta, Arretium, and Arimnium are under our control as of 270 BC. More later.